GPT-5. ChatGPT kinda suck these days. We have 10,000 subscribers at $25 a month with Susan churn. Huh? Some finance shit. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll watch Fireship. Interesting. I feel like for people that need these like one-off things, right? They're adding those like one by one, right? And it kind of helps people that want to need those. For general people, all this is kind of superfluous. No, 99.9% of the users of these products don't need any of the new additions and the new updates of any of this shit. No.
Yesterday was the last day of the rest of our lives. Yesterday was the day Sam Altman asked his ego this three-word question: what have we done? Because yesterday was the day the human intelligence monopoly officially ended with the long-awaited release of OpenAI's GPT-5, the first AI model to outperform biological humans on the simple benchmark.
Wait, the humans? What the fuck is that? Guys, what is the human baseline? What is that? It's not better than me. You can never out-human me.
Meanwhile, it's quickly overtaking virtually every leaderboard on LM Arena, which means every programmer that still has a job will be getting a layoff notice shortly, or at least that's what the hype engineers at OpenAI want you to think. Not everybody is falling for it though. That simple bench score was just a rumor, and in fact, GPT-5 is actually in 5th place. GPT-5 failed to beat Grok on the Arc AG.
Really, dude? You're not gonna beat Grok? Really, dude? Gemini 2.5 Pro. Dude.
GPT-5 is actually in 5th place. GPT-5 failed to beat Grok on the Arc AGI benchmark.
Jesus, Grok Chad.
An important benchmark that was conveniently left out of yesterday's announcement. It also underwhelmed the betting markets, and OpenAI is no longer the favorite to have the best model of 2025. Worst of all though, people found numerous problems with OpenAI's own charts, which really shouldn't happen when you have PhD level intelligence in your pocket. In today's video, we'll find out if GPT-5 is just another overhyped incremental upgrade or a true game changer edging us closer to artificial superintelligence. GPT got better as it got bigger. It was trained on more data that would activate more parameters when generating text. But those days are essentially over. The thing that makes GPT-5 special is not that it's a bigger, smarter model, but rather it unifies multiple models, like fast, reasoning, routing, etc., to pick the right tool per task without the end user needing to think about it. In many ways, GPT-5 feels more like a consolidation and cost reduction effort after they spent the last year panic shipping a bunch of stupidly named models to justify the $200 Pro plan. GPT-5 is priced at only $10 per million output tokens, and that's a great deal compared to Claude Opus 4.1, which will burn a hole in your wallet at $75 per million output tokens. Sam Altman says GPT-5 is like having multiple PhD level experts in your pocket, but one of the funniest parts of their announcement is that their benchmark graphics were presented with a y-axis that doesn't make any sense.
Accuracy percentage pass. GPT-5 without thinking. With thinking. Huh?
Intelligence.
Well, I mean, 69 is under everybody. Shouldn't it be in the middle?
Or two, they were trying to be intentionally misleading. What's even better is that GPT-5 is supposed to have lower deception rates, but then someone or something tried to deceive us with the y-axis on the deception benchmark. And that's kind of embarrassing for a $500 billion intelligence company. But if you're a programmer, the biggest question is whether or not GPT-5 can code a Svelte 5 to-do app with runes. Many models have come close, but none have succeeded. I put GPT-5 to the test and was stunned to see that it generated beautiful looking Svelte code and did so very quickly, far faster than any other reasoning model. At first, I thought I was working with a PhD level Svelte developer, but I would soon be disappointed after running the code and getting a 500 error as the UI. What's troubling is that GPT-5 used the right syntax, but tried to use a rune in the template, which is not allowed. GPT-5 is supposed to have fewer hallucinations, but it hallucinated its own rules for using runes. However, it did redeem itself when I asked if it knew what was wrong with its code, at which point it figured it out and fixed it. And the end result is a functional app that has a very nice looking UI. I also had it build a flight simulator game with Three.js, which turned out pretty bad, but the tall guy from Cursor said it's the smartest model they've ever used. Clear at this point that the real power comes when you combine these new AI tools with existing technologies that you already know and love, which is why you need to check out Dreamflow, the sponsor of today's video. It's a full-stack AI development environment created by the team at Flutter.
Chat, what about if every game you play gets entered to an AI, right?
As a kid,
and it tells you like you run into a bunch of data and whatever, and it tells you, oh dude, you don't do this enough, or you don't do that enough, you don't do this enough, and it gives you tips. Genie 3 does that.
It's named Genie 3 and has the ability to create controllable virtual worlds from a text prompt and simulate them in real time at 720p resolution and 24 frames per second. And we're not just talking about video rendering here, but worlds with actual physical properties that you can interact with like an open world video game. Genie is an AI system that understands reality well enough to simulate it. Think of it like the inverse of perception. Instead of understanding what it sees, it generates what could be seen if it had eyeballs like us. And that's a big deal because it gives autonomous systems and robots an unlimited number of simulated environments for training.
How do you try that?
Today's GPT-OSS is a model that's so good it approaches the performance of other state-of-the-art reasoning models like O3, while being small enough to run on your laptop or even your phone. I tried it out on Ollama, and while it's great to have another open model, it still feels overly censored and a little bit behind Qwen 3 in general intelligence. And with smaller models, you get higher hallucination rates, which is understandable because you have to cut out a lot of knowledge. That makes it hard to use for any kind of serious programming, but luckily software engineers also got a big upgrade yesterday from Anthropic with the release of Claude Opus 4.1. The upgraded model made an improvement to its already impressive software engineering bench score, and supposedly this model is supposed to be way better at multi-file code refactoring. And that's a big deal because as your project grows larger, the more useless AI becomes. But large language models are like so boring in 2025.
Chad, this is accuracy and coding, right? Which is cool and all, but like how can it do better than a human? It would have to know like what are the glitches and why the code's not working. No, it's not gonna like why humans are almost irreplaceable in that realm. Like you'll never be. If they make a code and the code doesn't work, how does it know why the code is not working? How would it know otherwise it would have not done that mistake? No.
Are calling it a watershed.
Guys, if you ask this bitch ass, make a code say, yo, Clanker, bitch, bang, make me a code, and it makes a code. And you know, you as a code engineer, you know, oh yeah, this isn't working because this code here doesn't work, right? How would it know why it's not working? It would need a human anyway. How would it know? If it knew it wasn't working and why, it would have done the code the way it did it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it would have debugged before putting out the code as a final product. Are you kidding me?
Genie 3 is without exaggeration a watershed moment that puts us dangerously close to self-replicating genocidal machines by giving robots an unlimited simulation space. It generates realistic physical environments with incredible consistency, and what's especially weird is that the consistency is an emergent property, meaning the model just kind of magically got better at keeping the graphics consistent as it got bigger, as opposed to being a deliberate change to the algorithm implemented by programmers. Google has been working on these world models for a while, but Genie 3 is the first one with an interaction horizon that lasts multiple minutes and that can generate high-resolution graphics in real time. It can create both realistic and fictional worlds from a simple text prompt, while also giving physical properties to objects in that world that you can interact with just like a video game. It's a fun little toy for us humans, but for robots, it provides an unlimited training space to get better and better at what they do. Humanoid robot tech is right around the corner, with Unitree releasing the R1 for just $5,900 a few weeks ago, and it won't be long before robots like this are cooking our meals, walking our dogs, and curing our loneliness. If you want to get in on this future though, you need to use the right tools, like Warp, the sponsor of today's video. CLI.
Very cool. I enjoyed that video. That was good. Well, that was interesting.